What's your biggest turn on that you're too shy to admit? First user. It's funny how life can change in an instant, how one moment you're going about your day, and the next, you're captivated by something, or rather, someone, you never saw coming. It usually starts innocently enough, a casual social gathering, perhaps a friend's party, where everyone's mingling, chatting, and trying to make a good impression. But then, out of the corner of your eye, you notice someone. They're not the loudest person in the room, not the one demanding attention, but there's something about them that draws you in. And then it happens. They drop a joke, not just any joke, but one so perfectly timed and brilliantly executed that it cuts through the noise like a bolt of lightning. The room explodes with laughter, the kind that's infectious, the kind that makes everyone around them light up. This isn't just humor, this is a masterclass in wit, a demonstration of how to turn the mundane into the extraordinary. And as you laugh along with everyone else, something inside you shifts. It's as if a switch has been flipped, and suddenly, this person is all you can think about. But it's not just the joke that gets you, it's the way they tell it, with a twinkle in their eye and a smile that's both mischievous and inviting. This smile, oh, this smile. It's the kind that reaches their eyes, crinkling them at the corners, making you feel like you're the only person in the room who matters. It's the kind of smile that makes you feel warm inside, like you've just been wrapped in a cozy blanket on a cold day. It's genuine, it's kind, and it's completely disarming. As the night goes on, you find yourself gravitating towards them, drawn in by their easy charm and effortless humor. They're the kind of person who can make even the most awkward situations feel comfortable, who can turn a simple conversation into something memorable. And every time they laugh, you find yourself laughing too, not just because they're funny, but because their laughter is so genuine, so full of joy, that it's impossible not to be swept up in it. You start to notice the little things. The way their eyes light up when they're about to tell a joke, the way they lean in just a little bit when they're talking to you, making you feel like you're sharing a secret. You notice how their smile lingers even after the laughter has died down, as if they're still savoring the moment. It's the kind of smile that makes you want to know more, to find out what else lies behind that infectious humor and those sparkling eyes. But as much as you're captivated by them, there's a part of you that's hesitant, that's too shy to admit just how much this combination of humor and a great smile turns you on. After all, who wants to admit that they're falling for someone based on something as simple as a laugh or a grin? It seems too easy, too shallow, but the truth is, it's anything but. This isn't just about physical attraction, it's about an emotional connection, about finding someone who makes you feel seen and understood in a way that's both exciting and terrifying. Every time they smile at you, it's like a jolt of electricity runs through your body, setting your nerves on fire. You feel your heart race, your palms start to sweat, and all you can think about is how much you want to see that smile again. But how do you admit that? How do you tell someone that their humor is like a balm for your soul, that their smile is the highlight of your day? So, you play it cool, pretending that you're not completely enthralled by their charm and wit. You laugh at their jokes, you smile back when they grin at you, but inside, you're a mess of emotions, your heart pounding every time they look your way. It's like you're walking on a tightrope, trying to maintain your balance while the world spins around you. You want to tell them how you feel, but you're too afraid of what might happen if you do. And yet, there's a part of you that wonders if they know. If they can see the way your eyes light up when they tell a joke, if they notice the way your smile lingers just a little too long after they've smiled at you. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But either way, you're content to keep this little secret to yourself, to cherish these moments of connection and joy without needing to take it any further. Because in the end, it's not just about the humor or the smile, it's about the way they make you feel. It's about the way they bring light and laughter into your life, the way they make the world seem a little bit brighter just by being in it. And even if you're too shy to admit it, you know that there's something special about them, something that makes you want to hold on to these moments for as long as you can. And so, you continue to laugh at their jokes, to smile when they smile at you, and to savor every second of the time you spend together. Because in a world that can often be dark and lonely, finding someone who makes you feel this way is nothing short of a miracle. And even if you never find the courage to tell them how you feel, you'll always have these memories, these moments of laughter and joy that will stay with you long after the jokes have faded and the party has ended. Second user. It's funny how something as seemingly simple as how someone dresses can have such a profound impact. But it's not really about the clothes, is it? No, it's about what those clothes represent: confidence, self-respect, and a deep understanding of who they are. Imagine walking into a room full of people and immediately noticing someone who stands out, not because they're loud or flashy, but because everything about them is meticulously put together. Their clothes fit perfectly, not too tight, not too loose, just the right balance that highlights their best features without being overt. The fabric moves with them as they walk, as if it was made specifically for them. The colors complement their skin tone, their accessories are understated but elegant, and their shoes are polished to a shine. This isn't just someone who throws on whatever's clean, this is someone who puts thought into their appearance, someone who understands the importance of first impressions. But it goes deeper than that. As you observe them, you start to notice the way they carry themselves. There's a confidence in their stride, a grace in the way they move, as if they know exactly who they are and where they're going. They're not in a hurry, but they're not wasting time either. Every step they take is purposeful, every gesture controlled yet relaxed. It's clear that they've put as much thought into how they present themselves as they have into their outfit. And then there's their posture. Shoulders back, head held high, eyes forward. It's the kind of posture that commands attention, not in an aggressive way, but in a way that exudes quiet confidence. This is someone who's comfortable in their own skin, who knows their worth and isn't afraid to show it. They don't need to shout to be heard, their presence alone is enough to make people take notice. As you watch them move through the room, engaging in conversation, you start to pick up on the subtleties that make them so attractive. It's the way they listen intently when someone else is speaking, the way they nod thoughtfully, considering what's being said before they respond. It's the way they make eye contact, holding your gaze just long enough to make you feel seen, but not so long that it becomes uncomfortable. It's the way they smile, not a broad, toothy grin, but a small, knowing smile that suggests they're always thinking, always analyzing, always a step ahead. And then there's their voice. It's calm, measured, confident. They speak with a clarity and precision that makes you want to hang on their every word. They don't rush, they don't stutter, they don't over-explain. They say what they mean, and they mean what they say. There's a weight to their words, a sense of purpose that makes you take them seriously. But at the same time, there's a warmth to their tone, a kindness that makes you feel comfortable, like you could talk to them about anything and they'd listen without judgment. But what really gets you is the way they make you feel when you're around them. It's not just that they're attractive or well-dressed, it's that they make you want to be better, to step up your game, to match their level of poise and sophistication. You find yourself standing a little taller, speaking a little more clearly, choosing your words more carefully when you're around them. It's as if their presence inspires you to be the best version of yourself. And here's the thing, I'm way too shy to admit just how much this well-put-together look turns me on. I mean, who wants to come across as shallow or superficial, right? But it's not really about the clothes or the grooming, it's about what those things represent. It's about the confidence, the self-respect, and the attention to detail that they've put into every aspect of their appearance. It's about seeing someone who values themselves enough to take care of themselves, who understands that how they present themselves to the world matters. There's something incredibly sexy about someone who's got their life together, who's organized, disciplined, and who approaches life with a sense of purpose. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good, and that confidence is contagious. When you're around someone who takes care of themselves, who's well-groomed and put together, it makes you want to step up your game too. It's inspiring, it's motivating, and it's attractive as hell. But how do you admit that? How do you tell someone that you're attracted to them not just because of how they look, but because of what that look represents? It's not something that's easy to put into words, and even if you could, it's not something you'd want to say out loud. So, you keep it to yourself, admiring them from a distance, taking mental notes on how you can improve yourself, all the while hoping that one day you might have the courage to tell them how you feel. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the clothes or the grooming. It's about what those things say about a person. It's about the confidence, the self-respect, and the attention to detail that they've put into every aspect of their appearance. It's about seeing someone who's comfortable in their own skin, who knows who they are and isn't afraid to show it. And that's something worth admiring, even if you don't always have the courage to say it out loud. So, while I might be too shy to admit just how much this well-put-together look turns me on, I know deep down that it's not just about the surface level. It's about what that look represents: confidence, self-respect, and a sense of purpose. And that's something worth admiring, even if I don't always have the courage to say it out loud. Third user. There's something about scent that's unlike any other sense. It has the power to transport you, to evoke memories, to stir emotions in a way that sight or sound never could. And when it comes to the scent of a man, that deep, earthy, musky aroma, it's like it bypasses all logic and reason and goes straight to the core of who you are. It's not about the artificial smell of cologne or body spray. It's about the raw, natural scent of masculinity that's both subtle and overpowering at the same time. Imagine standing close to someone, close enough that you can catch a whiff of their scent. It's not something you consciously notice at first, but then it hits you, a deep, rich, slightly musky aroma that seems to wrap itself around you, pulling you in. It's the smell of skin warmed by the sun, of hard work and physical exertion, of someone who's been out in the world, doing something real. It's a scent that speaks of strength, of resilience, of a kind of raw, untamed energy that's utterly intoxicating. But this scent isn't just a physical thing. It's emotional, psychological, almost spiritual. It taps into something ancient, something primal, something that goes back to our most basic instincts. When I catch that scent, it's like my brain short-circuits, and all I can think about is being closer to it, to him. It's like my body recognizes something in that scent, something that tells me this is a person worth getting close to, worth knowing, worth feeling. There's a memory that comes to mind, one that's etched into my senses as much as my mind. It was a summer day, the kind where the heat clings to you like a second skin. We were outside, the sun beating down on us, the air thick with the scent of earth and grass. He was working on something, maybe fixing something, maybe building, his shirt off, sweat glistening on his skin. And that's when I caught it, that deep, musky scent that seemed to rise from him like steam. It was the smell of effort, of toil, of someone who wasn't afraid to get their hands dirty. It was intoxicating, heady, the kind of scent that made my knees weak and my heart race. But it wasn't just the physical attraction, it was the connection, the way that scent seemed to speak to something deep inside me, something that I didn't even fully understand. It was like a signal, a message sent from him to me, bypassing all the usual channels and going straight to my soul. I couldn't explain it, I couldn't rationalize it, but I couldn't deny it either. That scent, that raw, earthy musk, had a hold on me that I couldn't shake. And here's where the shyness comes in. As much as I'm drawn to this scent, I'm too shy to admit just how much it turns me on. I mean, who wants to confess that they're attracted to something so basic, so primal? It's not exactly the kind of thing you bring up in polite conversation. Oh, by the way, the smell of your natural musk drives me wild. Yeah, that's not a conversation starter. Yet, the power of scent is undeniable. It's tied to memory, to emotion, to all those deep-seated instincts that we don't always understand but can't ignore. And for me, the scent of a man, the real, unfiltered scent, is like a drug. It's addictive, intoxicating, and it makes me feel things I can't quite explain. It's not just about attraction, it's about connection, about feeling something deep and real. And it's not just any scent, it's the smell of someone who's lived, who's experienced life, who's been through things and come out the other side stronger. It's the smell of sweat, of effort, of resilience. It's the smell of someone who's not afraid to get their hands dirty, who's not afraid to work hard and play hard. It's the smell of someone who's confident, who knows who they are and isn't afraid to show it. But how do you admit that? How do you tell someone that their scent is like a magnet, pulling you in, making you want to be closer to them? It's not something you can easily put into words, and even if you could, it's not something you'd say out loud. So, I keep it to myself, enjoying those stolen moments when I catch a whiff of that musky aroma and feel my pulse quicken. It's like a secret, something I keep hidden, something that only I know about. And maybe that's part of the allure, the fact that it's something so private, so personal, so intimate. It's like having a little piece of them with me, something that lingers in my memory long after they've gone. It's a reminder of the connection we share, of the attraction that goes beyond words, beyond logic, beyond reason. There's another memory, this one more recent, where I was sitting next to him, our shoulders barely touching. We weren't talking, just sitting in comfortable silence, when I caught that scent again. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was there, and in that moment, I felt a wave of warmth wash over me, a feeling of contentment that was as intoxicating as it was comforting. I wanted to lean in closer, to bury my face in his neck and just breathe him in, but of course, I didn't. I just sat there, quietly savoring the moment, knowing that this was something special, something that didn't come along often. So, while I might be too shy to say it out loud, I can't deny the effect that scent has on me. It's like a hidden treasure, something that I keep to myself, something that makes me feel alive in a way that's hard to describe. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most powerful attractions are the ones that can't be seen, only felt, and smelled. And maybe that's okay. Maybe it's okay to have something that's just yours, something that you don't have to share with the world. Maybe it's okay to have a secret, something that you can hold on to, something that brings you joy and comfort in a way that nothing else can. Because in the end, it's not about what you can see or hear, it's about what you can feel, what you can sense, what you can smell. And that, I think, is what makes it so special. Fourth user. Attraction is a complex, multifaceted thing, something that goes beyond the physical and taps into the deepest parts of who we are. For me, that attraction is deeply rooted in my admiration for Black women. There's something about their strength, their beauty, their confidence that draws me in like a magnet, something that makes me feel connected to them in a way that's hard to put into words. Let's start with beauty, but not just in the conventional sense. It's the kind of beauty that radiates from within, that comes from a deep sense of self-awareness and self-respect. Black women have a way of carrying themselves that's both powerful and graceful, a combination that's incredibly alluring. It's in the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they express themselves with such authenticity and pride. Whether it's the natural texture of their hair, the richness of their skin, or the way they dress, there's a sense of identity that's undeniable, something that speaks to a deeper connection with who they are and where they come from. But it's more than just physical appearance, it's about resilience. Black women have faced more than their fair share of challenges, both historically and in the present day, and yet they continue to rise above, to thrive, to excel in a world that often tries to hold them back. That kind of strength, that ability to persevere and succeed despite the odds, is incredibly attractive. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving, about turning challenges into opportunities, about showing the world that you're not just here to exist, but to excel. And let's talk about confidence. Black women exude a kind of confidence that's hard to find elsewhere. It's not the kind of confidence that's loud or flashy, but something deeper, more grounded. It's a confidence that comes from knowing who you are and being unapologetically yourself. It's the kind of confidence that can fill a room without needing to say a word, the kind that makes you want to be around them, to soak up some of that incredible energy. But here's the thing, in a world that's still grappling with issues of race and identity, it can be hard to openly admit this attraction. There's a lot of judgment out there, a lot of preconceived notions about who we should be attracted to and why. Sometimes, it feels like stepping outside of those expectations puts a target on your back. People can be quick to judge, to question your motives, to make assumptions about why you're attracted to someone who doesn't fit the traditional mold. But the truth is, attraction isn't something you can control. It's not about what society thinks or what others expect, it's about what makes your heart race, what makes you feel alive. And for me, that's the beauty, the strength, the confidence that Black women embody. It's something that goes beyond the physical, beyond the superficial. It's about connection, about energy, about an undeniable pull that they have on me. There's a particular moment that stands out in my mind, a memory that's as vivid as it is cherished. I was at a friend's wedding, and as I looked across the dance floor, I saw her. She was standing with a group of friends, laughing, her face lit up with joy. There was something about the way she moved, the way she held herself, that was magnetic. She was wearing a dress that hugged her curves in all the right places, her natural hair styled in a way that framed her face perfectly. But it wasn't just her appearance that caught my attention, it was the way she radiated confidence, the way she seemed so at ease in her own skin. As the night went on, I found myself drawn to her, watching as she danced with an effortless grace, her movements fluid and natural. It was like she was in her own world, completely unaware of the attention she was attracting, and that made her even more captivating. I wanted to talk to her, to get to know her, to find out what it was that made her so magnetic. But I hesitated, unsure of how to approach her, unsure of what to say. The last thing I wanted was to come across as just another guy hitting on her, especially in a setting like that. But as the night wore on, I finally worked up the courage to approach her. We talked, and as we did, I realized that my attraction to her went far beyond the physical. She was smart, funny, and had a way of making you feel like you were the only person in the room. There was a depth to her that I hadn't expected, a complexity that made me want to know more. We talked for hours, and by the end of the night, I knew that this was someone I wanted to see again, someone who had left a lasting impression on me. But even after that night, there was still a part of me that was hesitant to admit just how strong my attraction was. I worried about what others would think, about how they would react if they knew. Would they judge me? Would they question my motives? Would they make assumptions about why I was attracted to her? It's a fear that's hard to shake, especially in a world that's still so divided by race and identity. But as time went on, I realized that those fears were holding me back from something real, something meaningful. I realized that my attraction to her wasn't something to be ashamed of, but something to be celebrated. It wasn't just about her appearance, or even her personality, it was about the connection we had, the way we made each other feel. It was about finding someone who understood me in a way that few others did, someone who made me feel seen and appreciated for who I was. And so, I made the decision to embrace that attraction, to be proud of it, to acknowledge it for what it was, a deep, genuine admiration for everything that Black women represent. It wasn't always easy, and there were times when I still felt that fear of judgment, but I knew that I couldn't let that hold me back. I knew that I had to be true to myself, to my feelings, and to the connection that we shared. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what others think, it's about what feels right to you. It's about finding someone who makes you feel alive, who makes you feel understood, who makes you feel like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And for me, that's the incredible, magnetic, irresistible allure of Black women. It's something I cherish, something I respect, and something that I'm proud to acknowledge, even if I don't always have the courage to say it out loud. And as I look back on that night, on the conversations we had, on the connection we shared, I know that it was worth it. It was worth the fear, the hesitation, the uncertainty. It was worth it because it was real, because it was something that went beyond the surface, beyond the physical, beyond the superficial. It was something deep, something meaningful, something that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. So while I might be too shy to shout it from the rooftops, I'm learning to embrace this attraction, to appreciate it for what it is, a deep, genuine admiration for everything that Black women represent. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what others think, it's about what feels right to you. And for me, that's the incredible, magnetic, irresistible allure of Black women. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment and follow for more stories.